Weapons online.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Season 2 of Aces Wild's Inner Sphere Coalition Tournament. My name's Toaster, here once again with my good friend.
His loyal wizard. Not exactly court wizard, since I own the Palantir, the staff, and I also own the special mind magic that sent Gandalf flying from wall to wall. Saruman of many colors. And here we go, our ISC, round 2, Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand versus Aces Wild. Wow, there's so many Aces Wild teams that we can easily forget. How dare you interrupt me, Toaster? I was going to come to that conclusion. Aces Wild, Waffle House. But anyway, these are some very, very new teams. Aces Wild is definitely not the high-tier teams, but there are some skilled players on these teams, and we might see some very interesting strats. Toaster, what do you think we're going to see in these matchups?
I think we'll see a lot of shenanigans, a lot of stuff you probably wouldn't see in a higher div team, Probably not going to see your typical ER large range trade. No, they might try and emulate it, but with the lack of experience, I think things could be a little bit dicey. But that gives room for people to just kind of step up and work on their fundamentals. And I don't know, I'm hoping it'll be a good match. Should have some inter-unit camaraderie and maybe a little bit of competition can be good for people. So we'll see. Looking at these teams, you're right. There's not so much experience on the board here. We saw one player, I believe, just doesn't even have 300 matches on the Jarls list yet. So some definitely wet behind the ears players, but good on them for getting in here, playing this tournament. They might not expect to win, but hopefully they will have some fun.
I think that's probably the big reason why these Aces Wild teams are going to be competing in this matchup. I think that's why they're playing. This is just about fun for them, this is just about them kind of just feeling their oats, playing some really good teams. I'm not sure how seriously they're going to be taking this. I'm not sure how advanced they see their strategies as or how far they're willing to go. I know that Dead Man's Hand right now, they're currently just kind of leaking players in. Not exactly being too quick to set up right now. We only have 4 players in the lobby at the moment, which doesn't signify a lot of expedience and a lot of haste. So I guess that's kind of the gist of it. They're kind of just like coming in a little bit, just kind of taking their time. I wouldn't say lackadaisically. That's kind of the wrong word, but I think that they're just much more chill about things, and they probably take their wins and losses more in stride.
Yeah, and for sure with these teams, somehow I bet that drop decks are probably a little bit more difficult to assemble when you have newer players who might not have all the mechs. You gotta play with what you got. It can make organizing a drop deck, getting everybody in the lobby a little bit difficult. But I don't know. We went over the teams. No super standouts. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but we did see. Who was it? Orphanator, I believe. It was on Waffle House. So they're definitely the favorites. But like you said, they're not Div A teams. There's a bit of, I'd say, inexperience. So I think this could go either way.
Well, it definitely can, because of the fact that
Weapons online.
Wow, okay. This is interesting. This is going to be a 5v5 between Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, and Aces Wild, Waffle House. They were only able to muster 5, and looks like that instead of this being a 6v6, we're going to see only a 5v5.
That's interesting. I guess this is accounted for in the rules. If your team is difficulty getting people here, it's pretty late on a Saturday night for some of us East Coaster folks. If you got other responsibilities, maybe but this is within the rules. It's a little bit unfortunate that we're only going to see a 5v5, but I don't know, we'll see how that affects the meta.
5v5 might actually be a little bit more interesting. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be a smaller team. Caps are probably going to be a lot more important since there's not going to be as many mechs that can snowball fights out of the out of the way. There's not going to be a lot of quicker kills. TTK is obviously going to go up. All this equates to the fact that the objective points are going to be weighted more and more, since in order to kill the other team, you're going to have to spend more and more time getting it done, trying to shave down those armor points, do that damage, take care of the enemy, bring their health bars down slowly but surely and whittle them away. Definitely something that can't be done as quickly with 6 instead of 5. I don't mean to John Madden this, but so I think that's we're going to see maybe more mobile decks, actually. We're going to see decks that focus just more on predicating the cap game. We might not actually see as much range because I'm not sure how powerful range is. Normally, range mechs kind of benefit from having greater numbers because the more large lasers you can focus, generally the quicker a mech can drop. But even still, we might not have even seen much range anyway because these teams might like to brawl. I mean, Aces Wild in the lore, I believe, was actually a unit that liked to get down and dirty in the BattleTech universe. So who knows what we'll see.
I know nothing about the lore, but that strikes me as true to what I know about these teams from in-game. You do see there are quite a few Aces Wild players. I think they have 4 teams in this tournament. So they've got a bit of numbers on their side, and I do see them play. I remember seeing them playing Faction Warfare all the time way back when, and that sort of thing. So they've probably with the lack of experience, brawling is a good choice too, just because it lets you work on fundamentals. You don't have to work so much on positioning like you would. If your team's all balled up brawling together, you can let the one experienced player kind of lead things through and control the positioning kind of for the rest of his team, because if they know how to do it properly.
And at the same time, you got to wonder if they're going to kind of like stack down light laces or just not bring as many lights for a certain situation because of the fact that, you have extra tonnage. I don't think the tonnage numbers go down at all according to the ISC rules. They don't decrease depending on team sizes. So that's an extra amount of tonnage. Like, doing the math, I think that's an extra 5. Yeah, that's like an extra 5 to 10 tons, 5 to 7 tons extra between players. That's actually a lot of tons. That's enough to move your medium up to a heavy. So might actually see more impactful drop decks going down here.
Yeah, you could see that. We have seen annihilators, but you're right. When you do bring in an annihilator, you're kind of forcing another player into a light mech. But now maybe you just bring an annihilator because one player's got to pull the weight of 2, something like that. But yeah, it's allowed in the rules. It doesn't really say how it affects your tonnage. All it says is you can't field 6 players. You can opt to forfeit or play light, but it doesn't really say anything about tonnage. So I assume it just means play light as far as play fewer players.
I don't think that playing light necessarily indicates that they play with less tonnage. I think what playing light means is that it's just less people. That's kind of what it comes down to. So the 325 ton still stands. That much just stays there and it stays available. But at the same time, like, that changes the objective of the drop. And in all honesty, I like that rule change. I wouldn't like it if the tonnages changed with the amount of players, because what that does is that it puts a fixed amount of tonnages that people might not be comfortable bringing, forces them to kind of adapt to something that's not necessarily forces people to readapt their strategies to something that they're not necessarily prepared for, just because the other team's light. Don't necessarily agree with how that should play out. I think that 325 tons should stay that way. That way, teams can keep preparing and keep playing for it.
Yeah. It seems like a good choice. Anyways, I've pulled up the matchup stats provided by our wonderful cousin Indigo, and whatever. Anyways, both these teams, they came off some really hard first weeks. Like I said, they're inexperienced, so their Jarl's seeding was pretty low. They had to fight 2 teams we casted actually just the other night, White Knight Legion and Black Omen. So it was a rough week for these 2 teams. So their stats are maybe not representative of what they're going to be for the rest of the tournament. I somehow doubt they're going to be playing other EMP or any of those other teams anytime soon. But it'll be interesting to see which one of these Aces Wild who are the better aces, right? The aces. We looked at their drop decks. It seems like they're favoring, pretty much typical meta stuff. We've seen, they've brought some annihilators, but they also brought Vulcans, Uziels, Wolfhounds, kind of the typical light, fast capping mechs. But then they also brought Marauders, which was a bit of an interesting choice. I wonder what we'll see tonight.
Well, we might actually see the Marauders again, because people want to stick with mechs that they're comfortable with. Orphanator, I believe, like the Marauder. Also, Marasso 412, who was one of the better performing players on that Aces Wild team that Avik is currently leading. Aces Wild, remind me of the name again, Toast. All these Aces Wild names, it's a lot to keep up.
Who
I
Orange?
believe Aces
Team one
Wild.
is Waffle House, and team two is Dead Man's Hand.
Thank you very much. I'm looking at the screen right now. This shows how full of fail I am right now as a caster. Busy day, lots to do. Thank you very much for reminding me. But yeah, Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand. Rosso was actually a pretty high and clear performer, and he did quite some work with those heavies and assaults. Meanwhile, Orphanator and Orange Dry for the other team, Mercstar Waffle House, also did some work. I mean, they were against JGX, White Knight Legion and JGX respectively, so it's really hard to gauge their stats. We've said this many times. I don't want to beat a broken record, but it's very hard to gauge teams this early in the league when we're only 1 to 2 rounds in. Most teams still only 1 round in, so these stats aren't exactly indicative of true skill. And as said, it's unfortunate that these two teams didn't play in Martial Olympiad Reborn, since I feel like we could have a clue of how these guys perform with a much greater sample size. But looking at the stats, obviously Waffle House is a little bit of an advantage, mainly because, as touched on, as far as quick play goes, their players are a little better. Orphanator used to be a top tier player in Solaris. Orange Dry is pretty strong on the leaderboards, but even still, at the end of the day, even though they played the slightly worse team, Davik's team actually performed a little better match score wise. So you got to wonder which team's going to play better. It's going to come down to going to go down to which team is more prepared for this. And right now, it's actually looking like preparedness is a little bit of a struggle. Davik and Orange Dry both PM'd me saying that it's been kind of a struggle bus just to get players together, kind of the bane of comp, really. You know, that's why not everyone can be a competitive player. But as said, this is definitely more for fun for them. I don't think that they see themselves, taking on the very best of the best that ever was. I think that what they're doing, this is more for fun. This is more for their competitive players. This is to get their feet wet. And what better way to get your feet wet than a league like Swiss Pairing? Swiss Pairing is probably the best way to really get into it, because you truly get matched up with the teams that are around your skill level, especially as time goes on.
Yeah, I remember my first tournament. It was a little bit rough, playing Marine Mechs my first season, but I hung in there. And I had a lot of fun, even though, for a couple of seasons there, they were pretty rough for us. But I want to just remind everybody in chat, we do have a bunch of giveaways that will be going on tonight after this drop. I'll be giving away 1,000 MC and a mech bay. And there'll be more to come even later after that. So all you got to do, be active in chat and pay attention when you win. And let me know that you want your codes and I'll send them to you. I'm not going to send them to you if you're just AFKing.
Exactly. Toast, make sure you type in the chat a little bit and let people know that you're there. And that is exactly what we are doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. In case the fact that we bore you too much with our insignificant, puny little casts, or if I break your eardrums by screaming a bit too loud, we want to comfort you by letting you know that it's all worth it in the end. We're going to bribe you with MC and mech base. We're going to throw everything at you, all courtesy of PGI, and we're going to honor and cherish all the active watchers and listeners in this chat room right now. So right now, the teams are ready and locked. Team 2, very ready and locked. I like Davik. He's bringing the exclamation point onward, and looks like
Team 2 ready and locked before Team 1 is. This is a bit of a turn of events, but whatever. We're here to have fun.
Interesting development, though. Team 1 has 6 people, despite the fact that Orange said he'd be okay playing 5v5. Is this a scandal going on?
Egads.
Do I smell scandal? Egads indeed. Oh my goodness. Somebody alert the scandal police. This is not good. I'm going to wave the red flag here. Uh-oh, Team 1 ready.
Well, looks like Team Waffle House managed to get a 6th player. Maybe they're not gonna pull any punches, it seems. Maybe we can get another Dead Man's Hand player in here.
I'm just doing a final check just to make sure that okay. Apparently there might have been an agreement that there was a 5v5, but Orange Dry is saying, nah, we ain't into that, bro. Okay, so why not 5v5? All right, so they're okay with it. So we're launching. Got to admire Davik's spirit right in this one. I mean, Aces Wild, they're playing down a player, Dead Man's Hand. So if they win, this will be all the more epic. I love it. Balls to the wall. There we go. Dead Man's Hand not backing down from a challenge. They already get brownie points in my book. I love it. So let's get this game going onward. Outreach HBGs, the Reddit post. HBG Manifold is the actual map. My apologies, chat. Currently trying to fight brain fartitis at the moment. Toaster is going to be sounding off some of the mechs, since I think you can see him before me, buddy. What do you see on these two sides?
So we did. Dead Man's Hand it does have a player disadvantage, but as a result, they've brought 3 victors. So that's four players with assault mechs, and then they also have a Vindicator 1R and a Vulcan 5T. In those victors is 1 9S, so I'd imagine that's a brawl one, and then 2 9 A1s, which for anyone who doesn't know was originally the loyalty variant. I'm not sure quite yet what they have. We'll find out.
I can check that for you. The Victor 9Ss have a combination of medium lasers, AC-20s, and SRM-6s. So these Victors are very much looking to brawl. Meanwhile, Pyro GTX bringing the Vindicator 1R, small lasers, and 2 ERPPCs. I think that's going to be the range mech. Very interesting choice. I knew that in Division 7, the Vindicator.
He's already hitting shots. Orange Dry takes a shot entering in with his Roughneck, so good on him.
And interestingly enough, Blood Eagle bringing 3 AC-10s on his Victor. What is this madness, man? Some of these decks are very, very unorthodox. I know that we wouldn't exactly see meta-approved builds, but even still, and I do love Aces Wilds. I do love the attitude of Team 2. I love the attitude of Dead Man's Hand. They're saying, "Phooey." On your light mechs, we don't need them. Meanwhile, unfortunately, Waffle House, they're running a little bit heavier, so they got some lights, Wolfhound 2, Cicada 2A, medium pulse lasers. They got a Vulcan 5T with medium pulse lasers. Victor 9-1 brought 5 FS, 3 AC-10s, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that churns out. Orange Dry, meanwhile, bringing the Roughneck 3A. Roughneck 3A, 3 large lasers, 4 ER medium lasers. Oh, man, and you're right. He did take a little bit of damage on the return to his team, and it looks like it's going to be a basement strat, and without lights, I'm not exactly sure how effective this base strat camp is going to be. Unfortunately, Dead Man's Hand really can't facilitate a cap game much at all, because they really don't have lights other than this Vulcan, who's kind of just tucking himself in. He's not going to poke that far. He's getting a little bit of trades in. Kawhi Chimera manages to just eat some medium pulse lasers without taking much damage. Hi, hello, how are you? I'll take that medium pulse laser damage. Thanks, bye. Axel Inferno, peacing out, sees those large lasers being like, I don't want none of this. I'm backing out. And it looks like, however, that Sinire, is he like repping... Is he like a priest of Cthulhu? What kind of name is that? Sinire. All right, so the priest of Cthulhu, Sinire, however you pronounce that name, he took a lot of damage on the cross right now. And even though they're down a player, Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand doing a good job managing to avoid taking a lot of serious damage.
Yeah, I kind of wish Dead Man's Hand right now would just kill Orphanator at least. He's so close up in his Roughneck with those 2 lights. They've got a tonnage advantage right now, just right in this doorway. They can just push out, get a few kill, and then decide whether they want to keep going or come back in almost. Orange Dry in his Roughneck does have some angles from above as well as Fess, but it's going to be hard for them to shoot down since all their weapons for the most part are torso mounted.
Definitely. And right now we have Orphanator getting super aggressive. Kawhi Chimera said, Kawhi weapons, dude. Let me stare at him for a little bit. Took a lot of damage on an Alpha Strike, down 79% at the moment. Davik and the Blood Eagle poking from the back. I do like this very conservative poking from Dead Man's Hand, but I do not understand what Waffle House is doing. They have complete map control, but they aren't trying to establish it. So right now, the team that has no map control is the team winning. And look at this now. Oh my goodness. Waffle House is starting to push under. Orange Dry is trying to tank 3 mechs at once. Vindicator, Vulcan, and the Victor are just turning down Orange Dry. He's going to go down very soon. Zazian, however, takes out Davik. So on one side, we have one team that's really overloaded. On another team, we're all completely routed. Zazie managed to take down Blood Eagle. So right now, Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand not looking good. They've already lost 3 mechs on the cross. The brawl turned out very ugly for them. It took too long for them to kill Orange Dry. Meanwhile, their one team on the other side just got evaporated by the superior numbers and superior firepowers of Waffle House. Just 2 mechs left. Faculty Inferno goes down, takes way too much damage trying to get back to that brawl, gets caught in a bit of a crossfire trying to swarm through, and Pyro GTX is going to eat a lot of shots, and he's going to go down too very soon in his Vindicator 1R, and it's going to end in a brawl in favor of Waffle House. Very good push by them, no hesitation, went all in, and they're going to cap these points out, and they're going to get that W. I'm guessing that they might not have tried to get the cap game because they wanted to respect the fact that their opponent was playing down a mech. But even still, that was just a brutal brawl. Only one mech lost Orange Dry, and that's because he foolishly charged into 3 mechs at once.
Yeah, he was the bait to kind of let their rest of their team go the other way, and he did manage at least to keep the Dead Man's Hand mechs off the backs of the rest of the Waffle House mechs. So it was probably just a calculated risk he was taking, and so I don't think you can really fault him for that. Maybe it would have been better to have the victor go the other way, but who knows? Those roughnecks are definitely very tanky.
I do like that the Priest of Cthulhu on the team of Waffle House is actually probably the healthiest player on that team. He prayed to his eldritch god, summoned some magic, and managed to take the least amount of damage despite being in the thick of that brawl quite frequently. Kawaii Chimera, despite eating some very early shots, almost dead, but still not at 61%. Orphanator also decently healthy as well at 73%. Not a terrible performance by any stretch of the imagination. Looking at the damage, Orange Dry, only 83 damage. Kawaii Chimera, 555 damage. Way to go, Chimera. The Priest of Cthulhu, 328, not too bad. Fest, 21, 352. Orphanator, 312, very solid game. Meanwhile, the rest of the damage on Dead Man's Hand was a very nice spread apart from Davik, but that's because he died early in the brawl, 166. Rest of the victors and the Vulcans kind of did between 240 to 300 damage. It was an even spread, but I mean, that's what happens when you're playing down a man. You really struggle to get the mechs down quickly. It would have been interesting if this was a 5v5, but as said, Waffle House is playing to win. They are simply respecting the fact that Dead Man's Hand is playing down a player, and that's it. Other than that, they're going to play to their strengths. They're going to play to their best abilities, what they know, and but still decent performance from Aces Wild. Nice attempt, but even still, the win goes to Waffle House.
Yeah, looking at the damage numbers, they were down 5 pilot, and I think that really did make the difference in this match because the Dead Man's Hand mechs, they pulled respectable damage numbers, right? The Vulcan pulled 300, all the victors pulled above 200, and in the 6v6, that's pretty good. That's enough to win, right? If you're hitting your shots and coring mechs, but I guess it was just kind of a matter of maybe a little bit too much spread, and of course, being down a person, that's a fair bit of extra health. I'm not sure how the math works out, but I'd imagine, even with the same amount of tonnage, if you had another extra mech, you'd have a little bit more health than you do.
Definitely, but even still, you got to wonder if the victors really are the best brawl mech for this, especially with that extra tonnage. Like, you definitely could have at least tried to fit an Annihilator or 2 in and then squeeze the rest of the lights in. Like, there's definitely a lot more mechs you could have brought. I could understand trying to disperse out the tonnage, but I mean, and if you look at basketball, there's a strategy called ice ball, right, where you try and focus all your strengths into like 1 player or 2 players, and then the rest of the players, their job is simply to kind of shade and protect, get them the ball, put those players that are kind of the focus of the ISO ball strategy into the best way to win. I feel like if Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand attempted that, then maybe they'd have a little more success, maybe just have some lights to shade in and out on the outsides of the brawl. Maybe just have some mechs to kind of orbit around. Could help, and who knows? I mean, we've seen those commandos run around Benny Hill people all the time, like Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, pull out some commandos, kaboom, just shoot mechs in the back. Why not? Go to town.
Yeah, we did. I don't know, we were talking to Lerm God the other night after the Black Omen match, and he did bring up kind of a decent point about those victors. Yeah, they've got a lot of firepower, but they're also awfully easy to shoot in the CT and just core them out pretty quickly. But all that said, let's do a giveaway.
Definitely, giveaways incoming.
All right, this first giveaway is going to be for 1,000 MC. I've kicked myself, Saruman, out of...
Whoa!
So,
Why you gotta kick me out, bro?
well, you know, if I did leave you in, maybe I'd actually get some of these giveaways given away. But
Exactly, because I definitely respond, and then I give them to my favorite people.
We're rolling. Who's gonna win? I don't know. All I do know is if you do win, say something in chat. Let me know that you want your code, and I'll get it to you ASAP. This is on a 5-minute delay though, so it's gonna take a little bit of work. American Sinner, congratulations, or American Sinner, yes. Haha, I can read. Congratulations, you've won 1,000 MC. Say hi in chat. I'm in chat. Say hi to Toaster or whisper me, do something. And I will get you your code for 1,000 MC. I'm gonna do another one real quick. This one for Amek Bay. Who is gonna win this one?
I think Saruman should win this one.
Saruman? I don't think his name is in the list. I'll let you know if I see it.
I think Saruman's name should be in the list.
Actually, if you're not, I think you are in the list. You're not a mod on this channel, so I must have just not even thinking.
Victory! At last! I would say some inappropriate things right now, but I'm not going to.
All right. And also, congratulations, John the Russian. I know John. He is an ex-teammate of mine. I think he was in Marine Mechs for a little bit, then he played SA and RJF. So congratulations, John. Let me know that you want your Mech Bay, and I will get it to you ASAP.
Mech Bay ASAP, or at least as fast as they're going to respond to you, because who knows when that's going to happen.
Yeah. Chimera already thanking me for MC. Well, guess what, Chimera? You haven't won yet, so get wrecked. Yeah, so it was one thing.
Chimera to get wrecked. Look at the balls on you, Toaster.
Yeah, Chimera.
Find you. And Chimera's like a tall dude. Like, he might be skinny, but you know, he's pretty tall. He might find you after the WC, you know, and like.
I can take him.
You can take him.
The running joke is Chimera never will play Mech Warrior with me, so I have to flame him every time I see him.
What? Why won't he play Mech Warrior with you?
He just, I'm not good enough, I guess. So.
Chimera, how dare you, sir? I'm going to flame you now. This is not good. How dare?
Yeah. So I wonder.
With my boy Toast.
Neither of these teams did any sort of wall strategy. Saw like it seems to be a very strong strategy. Black Omen employed it and won earlier today. Mercstar employed it and just kind of dominated Furia. I was expecting that Vindicator we saw last match with his PPCs to go up there, but in the end he just ended up going down with the Victors underneath. Which, you know, the Vindicator is tanky, but it's not really the kind of ranges you want to be fighting with that mech, or if you do want to take that Vindicator underneath, maybe just bring some Merms, man. More DPS, less heat than those PPCs. It can be a little bit better choice, but you know, maybe that's just what he wanted to play, and so I can't really fault him for that. Oh, it looks like we've got a 6v6 now. Dead Man's Hand has pulled in another pilot, so we've got a proper match on our hands.
Let's just hope that he has IS mechs and that he
there's
also
always trial
within
mechs.
The 325 tonnage limit. Trial mechs. That's pretty interesting. I think the new player is what is his name? CJ Mixer. Potentially, that might be the guy that just joined. They're down to 325 right now, or that could be Davik. Yeah, he's moving players around. He's getting his team ready.
Trial mechs are an option. I mean, I know I had to play for this current event in game. I played the Trial Vindicator. It's not the worst. Its armor values are okay. It's definitely not as good as, you know, one that you've owned and have skilled yourself. But you know, if whatever you got to do, man, you field in another pilot, even if they're not.
What you have to do is go to MechCon and take care of business with Chimera. You guys have to hash this out like men now. We're going to bring you guys to a bar, and we're going to make sure I will provide as many Jack Daniels shots as necessary. that you guys can hash this out and be friendly together. And I think that we need to have this sorted out. Or I could bring Dr. Phil in, see if I can't get Dr. Phil on the horn. We can totally Dr. Phil this stuff out. I like that idea.
Dr. Saruman it out. I don't know. You don't have to worry about buying too much Jack Daniels for me, that's for sure. I'm a bit of a lightweight. Not as skinny as Chimera, maybe skinnier.
Well, definitely we can't do it on stream, that's for sure, which is unfortunate, but have to maintain at least some professionalism.
Yeah, what do you see? I guess you don't see anything. Oh, they're flying in right now, so I just jinxed myself.
They are flying in right now, so yeah, you did jinx yourself. Poo to you. And what I see is that Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, led by Davik, bringing a Brawl Orion, 4 SRM6s with Artemis and an AC-20. That's actually a pretty fierce brawler. Not sure how effective it's going to be on this map, though, especially since in this mode when capping's a big deal. Pyro GTX bringing 4 SRM6s, no Artemis. Snubnose PPC, that's pretty interesting. So it's a close range build. Can't say I'm a fan of the Snubnose PPC, but maybe he'll make it work in ways that I cannot understand. Blood Eagle, Warhammer 6R, 2 LB20Xs, 4 ER small lasers. I love the LB20s. Lots of boom right over there. And Rosso following a more conventional path, 3 large lasers, 4 ER medium lasers as well. So looking towards Aces Wild, Waffle House, Kawaii Chimera, bringing 6 medium pulse lasers in his build. Very cool. Fest 21 bringing 3 AC-10s again in the Victor 9A1. That's a very interesting unconventional build. Can't say I really support it. Zazian, seeing how many Z's he can fit into his name without it making any sense.
Where is Rosso going?
Pulse lasers. Rosso is running to the ends of the earth, it looks like. Oh, he's managed to dip under. I guess he was taking too much fire. This is not good. This is going to deprive Dead Man's Hand of a brawler. So once again, we're back to them fighting 5v6. Pyro GTX is completely isolating himself, and he dies! No! Oh, Pyro, what are you doing, buddy? Oh, he just walked right into their firing line, and now it's as if nothing changed, as if Dead Man's Hand didn't even get their other player. Very unfortunate pick. Dead Man's Hand. Blood Eagle's going to die right here. Great focus from Waffle House. Just clean up Blood Eagle right then and there. Pyro just completely forgetting what a mini-map is in that one instant and charged the enemy team. Not a smart move. And now we see the Priest from Cthulhu dropping down to try and finish CJ Mixer. Fest 21 trying to get some shots on him as well. However, he also seems to be pushing straight through, has his eyes set on Davik. Davik and Axel the Inferno trying to put some shots down on this brawl, but look at this death ball. It is just way too much for Davik to handle. He's going to drop instantly as if he didn't even exist. Oh my goodness, he was like... I want to say he was like Black Panther against Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, just vanishes. Rosso 412, who's Warhammer 6D. Axel the Inferno is going to drop as well. Wolfhound 2 is going to fly away. Look at the ragdoll. He manages to get a little bit of a movement there. I'd say that was a 2 out of 10 landing. What do you think, Toaster?
That was rough is what I think. A little bit, it seems miscommunication or just poor communication.
I was talking about the ragdoll landing on the Wolfhound. I was saying that I was thinking that maybe that ragdoll landing could be a little bit more. It's
a small constellation prize, I suppose, but.
All right, then you know what? I'm thinking a 5 out of 10 for that landing. I mean, he stuck it, right? So that's something we gotta give him kudos for.
When we have the mech gymnastics, he'll be a top contender for sure. But anyways, now it's all that's left is Waffle House to kind of clean things up, grab some caps, and say an end to the day. It seemed like, Pyro, he went in there, and I thought for a minute we were just going to have a full-on brawl, but I guess when Rosso went down, the call maybe was made to kind of go back and regroup on Theta, but by then, Waffle House was already pushing.
That was definitely a major disconnect on the side of Dead Man's Hand. And once again, that just comes down to the fact that this team really needs to get some experience under their belt. It's very unfortunate when, you're first getting your hands dirty in comp, so to speak. It puts you into situations that you don't want to be in, and your awareness on how to handle certain things definitely decreases, so to speak. So it's definitely a struggle,
school hard knocks.
Yeah, especially when, teams are trying to feel themselves out and they're trying to think of so many things. They're thinking of the mech lab, they're thinking of shooting the target, they're thinking of keeping their cursor correctly on which torso or which component. And you kind of forget about the minimap, which is probably the most crucial item that you need to keep an eye on, since if the minimap isn't right, if your eyes aren't on the minimap, you're just going to die, plain and simple, because the best way to get yourself out of position is to just not look at the minimap, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. I have some good news. People are actually saying hey, and they're here in chat, so I can give away these codes. Haha. But don't worry,
Oh,
folks.
we gave away 2
We've
codes.
given
Actually,
away
we
2
did it.
codes.
What? Oh my
Success.
goodness! There is no way this is happening. We actually gave away successful codes, people. Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations, John the Russian and American Sinner. I'll get you guys your codes. I'm whispering them to you as I speak. That said, do you want to just go ahead and roll this next 1000 MC code we got?
Roll it away, boss. Roll it away.
Goodbye, mods. Goodbye, Moobot. Get rid of Saruman. Ha! I
No,
found
no,
you.
no, 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 no. You didn't find me. You didn't find me.
Those underscores are a dead giveaway, sir.
You know what? I'm going. You are just not. You're not a pleasant individual.
Oh, feels bad, man.
Although I did have to expose myself to Worm God that I don't even need him. But you know what? Screw it. I'll just give it I'll give it to someone deserving. And I think you know who's on my mind. And I don't want to say the name since I don't think I need.
Who's won? Fedrat Sailor. Fedrat Sailor, congratulations. Whisper me, I'll get you your 1000 MC code. Don't spend, or well, maybe do spend it all in one place. Here there's gonna be, right now there's a heavy mech sale going on, and soon there's gonna be an assault mech sale going on, so some nice pickings for you out there. Anyways, Sarmon, did you even look at the score screen? I'm not sure I even grabbed the code for it, unfortunately.
The score screen, yeah. Well,
Oh,
I
I
did manage
did.
to get a little bit of a look. What happened was that we saw Pyro GTX just not doing a lot of damage. I think he did around 80 to 90 damage. Just trying to get in and out of the brawl, so he really wasn't able to do much. And then after that, we saw players, Axel the Inferno, pulling around 100 to 200 damage. Davik actually, I think, did 250 in the Orion. Unfortunately, I don't have the stats right in front of me, so I'm just going straight off of memory. But yeah, also had Rosso doing some damage as well with the Warhammer. Axel the Inferno, I think, did 2 to 250 in his Wolfhound 2. Damage spread was pretty even. There was no major standout from this game, if I remember correctly. And unfortunately, the Priest from Cthulhu has yet to do top damage yet. I want to see that happen, so that way we could give off a little bit of shout out to Yog-Sothoth, one of those major gods that are into confusing the enemy with his visions, making them not see this little Priest from Cthulhu that's running through the deck. But overall, damage are pretty similar. No major standout so far. The biggest standout that happened recently was Kuwait in that one match where he was just poking super aggressively.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Kawhi Chimera actually has learned something. I know I see him a lot in the Grim Mechs and MWO Comp Discord. It's a good resource for any of you folks out there, so I highly recommend joining that Discord. Lots of good players willing to give advice and make fun of your builds. But now we're done with HPG. No more basement strats. No more fashion shows. We're on to Grim Plexus. So
we could use a fashion show.
I don't know about that. I've been looking at some mechs. There are some pretty nice bolt-on mechs this match. I know Davik, that first game, his Victor was looking pretty snazzy. He had the mohawk and the sword and shield on his back. Fortunately, it wasn't enough to sway the match in his favor, but props to him for bringing his A game both visually and just leading his team.
You know what? And he was leading his team with the biggest amount of flashiness as possible. But unfortunately, bolt-ons are not what gets you wins, contrary to what Bowser might believe with his crazy bolt-ons in the WC. I swear to God, sometimes gotta wonder if Bowser's trying to be too flashy. Maybe go in style over substance. Wink, wink. Oh, man, he's gonna hate me for saying that. But even still, love you, Bowser. If you go see this flat view, but now this isn't about Bowser. This is about the two Aces Wild teams. So we're back once again. Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, dropping what seems to be a very close range deck. We got Crab 27Bs with large pulse lasers and medium pulse lasers from Rasa 412, actually Inferno and Blood Eagle. Davik bringing the Orion VA again with 4 SRM6s with Artemis and an AC20. Pyro GTX bringing the Hunchback 4P with all the medium pulse lasers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a small laser. That's a lot of firepower coming from that Hunchback. And CJ Mixer not bringing an Assassin Death Squad with him, unfortunately. Just one solo assassin looking to get some secret kills with 4 SRM4s with Artemis. And now looking over to the other side, we have the Orphanator with the Wolfhound 2, 6 medium pulse lasers. We got Orange Drive with the Zeus 9S, 6 ER large lasers, bringing a lot of firepower in that Zeus. Meanwhile, Fest 21, 4 ER medium lasers, 2 Gauss rifles. That's actually a favorite build of Bowser and some of the higher level players. I think even Chimera might like that build too. And Toaster likes that build too, Chimera. Just FYI.
Oh my gosh.
You should play with Toaster. You guys could run Warhammers together. It'd be super great. And Kawaii Chimera is joining the Priest of Cthulhu and Warhammer 2 in Wolfhound 2s with 5 medium pulse lasers. So these teams are starting to get it underway. The brawl is on. I repeat, the brawl is on for Davik. Unfortunately, it has not been engaged yet. False news, fake news. Sorry about that, chat. But either way, they're starting to move up to the center area. I hope that they know that they can't cap data, because they cannot cap data. I think they're waiting for the opposing team to potentially poke up to Hamburger Hill, expose themselves, waiting for the proper time to push out and strike.
Yeah, I wonder, they're already getting shot by this ER large Zeus. They might decide to just push straight up that hill. I almost think they should go right now. They haven't really spotted the rest of the team, but even if the rest of the team's not there, you can just pick that Zeus pretty easily, I think. We'll see what... Go ahead.
And the worst... No, I was going to say, the thing about that Zeus is that you got to wonder what kind of engine it's running. If it's running even a light engine, like, it's still going to be a huge drop in potential firepower. I can't imagine that the Zeus has as much armor as the other alternatives, although I'm not really the major assault pilot. Look at this, however. Blood Eagle getting shot to hell, and his Crab taking a lot of damage, dropped from 90 to 70 in the blink of an eye. Kawaii Camaro dropping down some medium laser fire from his Wolfhound 2. My mistake. I thought that he was joining the Priest of Cthulhu with medium pulse lasers. CJ Mixer's coming in, Assassin 21. Blood Eagle looks like, however, that he's going to drop very soon. He's pushing up way too aggressive. He is alone on this push. Pyro GTX and actually the Inferno are a little slow joining up. Look at CJ Mixer pushing like a man against 4 people all by himself. What are you doing, CJ Mixer? Oh my god, you have to fade in and out of that brawl. You can't just go in by yourself. Oh, but the rest of the team's kind of joining him. However, Blood Eagle got sunk in the Crab 27B. Rit Crab. He is now being served as some delicious crab cake somewhere in some fancy house. Orange Drive's being focused down in his Zeus right now. CJ Mixer, however, gets legged. He's going to die soon. Orange Drive drops. However, it's still a 2-1 mech advantage in favor of Waffle House, and Davik drops, so that advantage. Davik drops Zazian, so that advantage kind of evens out a little bit. The brawl is happening. Davik and his Orion is laying down a lot of firepower on the Priest of Cthulhu. He's trying to get out. Orphanator and his Wolfhound 2 is trying to scatter away. Rosso's following him. Orphanator must be heat capped since he's not shooting at all. Kawaii Chimera is getting surrounded. Actually, Inferno, however, eats a lot of damage on a terrible strike that did a lot of damage to both him and Fez. Fez is trying to get to the back behind a Pyro GTX. Turns out that it bites him in the booty. Davik takes his booty. Kawaii Chimera also gets sunk, so now it's Davik, Rosso, and Pyro. The percentage is definitely fading them more. Orphanator sinks Rosso, so now once again it's a 2v2 swinging back, and the Priest of Cthulhu is trying to get to the backs of Davik and Pyro GTX as they try and catch up with the Orphanator, playing some very nice ring around the rosy. Davik's like, that's enough of this. I'm going to face you, and start shooting the Priest of Cthulhu.
Yeah, Davik is so fresh. He could probably clutch this even if he was by himself. Just gotta land a good couple AC 20 shots on these lights. But it looks like Chwar is headed off by himself. The Priest of Cthulhu, I believe you've been calling him. And Pyro and Davik are just chasing Orphanator down in that Wolfhound. I
think his name's Sinar or something. I don't know. It sounds Sinar.
Oh,
Yeah,
Orphanator
but
gets
Davik
iced.
stinks. Orphanator, what a good shot by him. Well led AC-20 shot, perfect. And right now, all that's left is the Priest of Cthulhu. He needs to summon some eldritch magic, some tentacles from the deep. What is dead may never die. As famous words written by H.P. Lovecraft before he started going a little bit too racist in his writings. Team's going to start spreading out. Hopefully Pyro, GTX, and Davik know that they cannot just all go to one point. Those points are ticking. They have to spread their mechs. They have to take Sigma and Kappa, and they have to force the Priest of Cthulhu to engage them on terms that they feel is more favorable. Sanayer's right torso is open yellow, so if he's running an XL, then he's going to die. Not all Wolfhounds run XLs per se. Some run light XL and some run some light XL engines, and judging by his speed, he could very well have fit a light engine in there, but I don't know necessarily. Maybe that could be more heat sinks, or that just could be more armor. Whether or not it is, we're going to find out the moment Davik and Pyro get their eyes on him and see that shoulder's open and focus it down.
Yeah, it's just a matter. I know there's so much time. It's going to be very difficult for this cap to get this cap win. Even they have a bit of a lead, but it's gonna pretty quickly turn inside of these dead man hand mix. They just gotta spread out a little bit. I don't like really what Davik is doing. He needed to just immediately go for one of the caps rather than trying to shade Pyro, right? Like, Davik is so fresh, he can easily win the 1v1, and I think even Pyro, you know, he's 70% in that Hunchback, and with that side torso open on the Wolfhound, he should be able to win that fight as well. Yeah, that Hunchback is basically fresh as well. So this should be, either of these mechs can take the 1v1, so they need to just go ahead, split up, and try and get 2 caps as quickly as possible.
I think Davik's finally got the cue that that's what they need to do. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. And he seems to have went off the Gamma right now to try and cap that, to try and give Dead Man's Hand a 2-1 advantage. Meanwhile, the Priest of Cthulhu is just trying to keep the advantage in favor of Waffle House. They want to cook victory. Waffles do not want to give up this match, especially since this is a 2-0 right now. If Sanaya is able to walk away with the victory on this, then essentially Waffle House locks down the W for this round and they advance onward. And however, if that doesn't happen, then it's 2-1, and we very well could see a repeat of what just happened a couple of days ago between Smoke Adders and 228th.
Yeah, it does. At this point, I'm looking at the points, and I do think they actually are going to have to kill this Wolfhound, or at least be able to somehow hold a 3 cap, and realistically, you're not going to do that without killing the Wolfhound. So, Sonar, it does look like this might still be in his favor, but you just got to play it pretty safe and, you know, not get jumped by this Hunchback, who actually, it looks like we could have a confrontation here. They're kind of headed in the same... Well, okay, as I say that, the Wolfhound changes direction and is...
It's because of the UAV that's up. There's still a UAV in the air that's seeing the Hunchback 4T. Pyro GTX has not seen that UAV, probably doesn't even know it exists, has not tried to shoot it down. However, in a bit of oh no's, big oof of possibly incoming, Sanaya looks like he's heading towards Gamma, which is where the Orion is. That could spell...
Yeah, that Orion could easily just one-shot this Slight Mech. Even if he misses with the AC-20, those SRMs will put on so much damage. And Davik, he's got 9 AC-20 rounds and about 4 shots with those SRMs, so he should have plenty of ammo to handle this, as well as plenty of armor. He's still at 80% in that Orion. Nothing's even open except one of his backside torsos.
I am not liking this position, though. Pyro GT is in no real position to cover Kappa. He has no long-range weapons. He can't even really see the point. The only way he's going to know that the Wolfhound is there is if the Wolfhound caps it, and he's sitting under this UAV that's still in the air, I believe. Like, or at least it says so in the map.
I think that's a UI bug on the spectator side. That UAV should be down by now. Maybe he got spotted by it earlier, but... I doubt
Even
it's
still, he's
there.
at the same location where he was spotted, and he's moving towards Sigma now. He's wasting so much time. Oh, come on, Pyro. You're going to lose the cap game, buddy. You guys have to get your stuff together and cap those points. And it looks like that the Priest of Cthulhu is going to win this out simply because of the hesitation of Pyro GTX and Davik to split up early in the game.
Yeah, they just needed to split up earlier, and then you can't afford, if you have medium pulses, yeah, you might see them from a distance, but You gotta wait and try and gank him, I think, or at least keep on going and run to the next cap point.
Strike dropped on Sanair's pointed Kappa. He took a little bit of strike damage, but he is immediately getting out of dodge. Pretty smart play by Pyro GTX, but it might not save them this game since Aces Wild still needs a 3-cap in order to see this through, and even then, that might not be enough. Sanair might have just very well have won the game for them, and we see Davik coming down now, and as Orion, Davik, you do not need to be doing that. You have to get caps, and this is where experience definitely comes in. A more experienced team would see that they need a 3-cap to win. All Sanair needs to do is hold on for 120 points, which essentially equates to a minute in this game. That's not a long time. That's easy time for a light mech to just run around the map and kite against an Orion and a Hunchback, especially the Orion when he's heading into the open field like this. Like, what's he trying to do? What's he going to prove?
Yeah, it's just lack of experience. They've tried, they've done their best, but a live and learn. I think maybe they'll come back, watch this VOD, and maybe hear some of our criticisms and learn from it. Davik needed to just probably keep on going to Sigma. If you're gonna let a mech try and hunt this Wolfhound down, it's gotta be the Hunchback. This Orion is very slow. He's only running 64 kph. I wonder if he might be a standard instead of but is he gonna get the kill?
Davik immediately spots Sanair. He's trying to get some shots down from SRMs currently, but this is an Orion versus a Wolfhound. Davik is not hitting the shots he needs to. What a miss. That was not... Oh, that was so close. So that almost hit one of Sanair's shoulders, and that could have been a kill. But looks like that Pyro GTX is once again going to abandon the cap game to try and kill this Wolfhound, and I think it's going to be GG at this point. With 2 points ticking down for Waffle House, all Sanair's got to do is drag it out at least, so the points will stay active for about 30 seconds at this point, soon to be 25 seconds. This Hunchback 4P and this Orion are not going to get a 3-cap in 25 seconds. So Sanair, even if he dies here, has won the game for his team.
Yep. Well played by him, realizing that he needed to get out of there and get some caps. Is pretty good heads up by Waffle House. They might have, I think a less experienced team would have, tried to stay and fight that, but Orphanator and Sanair, they got their Wolfhounds out of there. Orphanator unfortunately didn't live, but he did buy time for this other Wolfhound. That was enough.
I mean, it's just unfortunate because this was definitely a very winnable game, and Pyro GTX and Davik kind of showed the inexperience that their team's bringing, unfortunately. They're still trying to get their heads around what the gravity of the situation. And yeah, Davik saying 07 caps LMAO. Yep, and it's going to be a GG from here. Looks like that Aces Wild will have won the game.
Yep. GG's all around though. That was a fun match to watch. Good brawl. Definitely showing that, I guess at this point, Dead Man's Hand can't win this match, but there's still MC in it for them if they can win a couple of games. And it does seem like maybe HPG, they need to revisit their strategies, but whatever they did here, it worked out pretty well. I do think if you're gonna push, bring in those crabs like they did was a little bit of a good choice. Having the crab tank the initial push is definitely a better choice than, say, trying to let the assassin tank it or something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. And Brawl 1, game lost. Kind of an example of a Rob Stark situation. Won all the battles, lost the war. Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, won all the mini fights, lost the overall battle. And you can see that here. Priest of Cthulhu pulling maximum amounts of damage, 450. Good on him. Orphanator following up with 400. Kawaii Chimera, only 199 in his Wolfhound 2. Shade under 200. Orange Dry doing almost 370 damage in his Zeus 9S, getting 1 kill. Fast Warhammer 6R, 343 damage, 4 assists, no kills. Meanwhile, on the other side, Pyro GTX, clear MVP of this match, 576 damage, no kills. Meanwhile, Davik, only 270 damage, but 3 kills. Definitely showing the massive alpha power of that Orion. Rosso 412, 314 damage, 1 kill. Actually, the Inferno, 198 damage, no kills. Same with CJ Mixer, 184 damage, but he did get a kill.
Yeah, seems like maybe if Dead Man's Hand had a little bit more speed, maybe, I don't know, drop the Artemis on those SRM6s or go to 4s with Artemis and get that Orion a little bit faster, it could have been a pretty big difference. I'd wager the reason the Orion, his damage wasn't like super high, even though he was ignored, is just because it took him a while to get there. Those crabs crossed pretty quickly, and then the assassin was up in there, and then didn't really seem like Davik was making his presence known until the end, towards the end of that fight.
Yes, and what we saw was pretty par for the course when it comes to teams that are first just getting into comp. We saw one team not recognize the caps, right? We saw one team just really being a little low on the situational awareness side, not recognizing the gravity of the situation at hand, not sending the Orion off to cap independently, not sending the Hunchback to cap independently. And you got to wonder if that's also the fact that maybe Aces Wild don't feel that they could have won that 1v2. I mean, the one thing that's kind of unheard of about Lights is that the lower tier you are as a player, the more powerful Lights are, because Lights, killing them is obviously very predicated on being a good shot. It's predicated on making sure your aim is concrete onto that pilot. And if you struggle to hit shots on bigger mechs, you're going to struggle with shots on Lights. And
Yeah,
obviously, Aces Wild are not the most accurate team. I mean, they're just making their first forays into comp. It's kind of showing here. So they probably feel that they might not have had the confidence to take on a Light by themselves. Who knows?
yeah, that could be. They did say in all chat after that they tried to catch the Wolfhound at Kappa, which, I do think, trying to catch him somewhere is the right choice, but if you're going to try and catch him, you got to have the mechs in a position where they're close enough that they can actually use their weapons. The Wolfhound, I'm pretty sure saw that Hunchback a mile away, and the Hunchback, he dropped the strike, I guess, but he then had to run like 2 grid squares almost just to get to him. I'm over at the map strat. I'm just going to draw this up real quick just because it was a pretty simple match. Deadman Hand, they kind of grouped up here in G7. Originally, all they really saw was the Zeus up here, who'd kind of run straight up to the hill to kind of get an eyes at, while the rest of their mechs, went to Kappa and Sigma. But the Waffle House mechs pretty quickly regrouped, sent everyone back up here once they saw the crabs, and then the crabs kind of pushed across. They did a pretty good job of tanking, to be honest. They didn't lose anyone on the cross, and even, the first crab, he did get pretty hurt, but he did get in there and do a little bit of damage. So based on where they chose to cross, I don't think it was a bad drop deck choice. And then it was just pretty much a messy brawl up here on Echo 6 and Echo 5. Eventually, it was just down to a 2v2, 2 Wolfhounds versus a Hunchback and an Orion. And Waffle House made a good call even before I'd even thought about it, to just get their Wolfhounds out of there. They sent one guy, towards H7 straight to Gamma, and they sent the other Orphanator to try and get to F8. Unfortunately, Orphanator didn't make it very far because he took the focus of the rest of the Dead Man's Hand mechs, and he died pretty quickly right there. But the other
Also,
Wolfhound,
courtesy to Dalvik, that was a very good shot from his AC-20 on that Wolfhound as he was running away. Got to give him some credit there.
Yeah. It was a good shot. Unfortunately, they let that Orphanator's sacrifice wasn't in vain, and the other Wolfhound got away, and then it was just a little bit of shenanigans while the Dead Man's Hand, they looked a little bit lost, and I'm going to say that's just up to lack of experience. They weren't chasing that Wolfhound exactly how I would have asked them to if I was leading their team.
Pretty much the Priest of Cthulhu making a worthy display of power and strength to his formless eldritch gods by winning the match for his team, Aces Wild. Waffle House, very good play on him. And now we are heading to the next match where the teams are swapped. Grim Plexus again. However, the teams are a little bit over tonnage. There we go. Tonnage are straightened out right now, and Dead Man's Hand is not ready. Waffle House is ready.
But before we drop
in this match shortly.
Let's do some more giveaways.
Do we want to do one giveaway or two? I think we should
Let's
do one. Let's do one.
Okay,
And then
let's do
one
one.
before drop
Twitch
5,
chat
since
has
these
been
teams look like they're about to be going.
pretty attentive tonight. All right, one giveaway. This one will be for a mech bay. Whoever wins, say something in
Please
chat.
wake
Whisper
up,
me.
Twitch chat. Thank you very much.
They've been awake tonight, even though it's later. It's later than it was the other night, and somehow they're more attentive. So I guess my yelling at them made them listen.
Which
Who's
is
gonna
interesting,
win?
since your yelling isn't that intense. It's not like my yell.
My yelling is the just calm disappointment. I don't know if you ever played with Bandit, but Bandit, he doesn't yell. You just feel his disappointment, like the father that he is. Police, congratulations, you've won a mech bay. Whisper me, say something in Twitch chat. I'll do my best to pay attention and scroll up and whatnot. Just let me know you're here, and I will get you your code for one mech bay. And if you don't pay attention, I'm gonna give it away later. We still have one more giveaway, guys. 1000 MC after this game. We got one more game on Grimplexus, and then we'll be headed over to Canyon to see what these teams are gonna do.
Canyon should be the very interesting drop.
Yeah, Canyon, I believe, a bit more brawl friendly than this map, and even maybe than HPG, because HPG you always got to worry about the wall strat, and it's so hard to brawl against a team that sticks even just 2 or 3 mechs up there.
Oh, definitely. And going to Canyon Network as a whole, like it's a very varied and interesting map that you can run multiple different kinds of strategies on. At the beginning of Canyon Network's inception, it was kind of like missile brawl. It was definitely a little bit more speed, focused on jump jets, things like that. And then later on, you started to see more range take place, and now you're seeing a mix of ER large laser trade, and you have seen a mix of Gauss rifles even being thrown in there, or you're seeing some mechs just kind of steamroll up the middle with SRM brawl, trying to get as many kills as they can, many picks as they can.
Yep. They're still MCing it, right? It's like, what, 500 MC per win, and that adds up throughout the season. So even if you're not going to win the round necessarily, just winning, a drop or two, it can still pay off for your team when we get to the prizes at the end of the season.
Which should be very extensive. The teams are all ready to go. It looks like both teams are ready, so we're starting to launch. Drop 4, Grimplexus. Switch sides. Right now, unfortunately, Waffle House has locked up the game after the Priest of Cthulhu, Sanur, however you pronounce that name. I'm not exactly sure. He managed to win by running circles around the other team and his Wolfhound, while Davik and GT just were somewhat out of position, unfortunately. We're not able to catch up to him, and orchestrated a not well cap game, a not very much in sync cap game, a cap game that was not necessarily secure, should we say. They didn't go for caps at all, pretty much, actually. But moving onward, Pyro GTX bringing the Thunderbolt 5SS. What is this? I haven't seen a Thunderbolt in a while. Wow.
It's probably a medium pulse boat. That mech used to be so incredibly strong.
7 medium pulse lasers from Pyro GTX, definitely bringing a sway back mech almost. 3 large lasers, 4 are medium lasers from Roscoe 412. The Blood Eagle, Vulcan 5T, 5 medium pulse lasers, CJ Mixer, Assassin 21 with SRM4s. Only 1 Assassin again, Axel Inferno, another Vulcan 5T. So interestingly enough, Aces Wild from the side of Dead Man's Hand is putting more faith in lasers than SRMs. Can't say I fault them. Lasers have always been a bit more dependable as far as mech choices go. And then on the side of Waffle House, 1, 2, 3, 4 Warhammer 6Ds, all with ER large lasers, and 2 Fleece 17s to facilitate the cap game. So this is all range all the time, and they're probably hopefully looking to poke out from the Epsilon side and try and do as much damage as possible before Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, can make the push and do loads of damage, or as people in League of Legends would say, tons of damage, courtesy of Freak. Hopefully you didn't copyright that, otherwise I'd owe them money. With their brawl mix. Now, Toast, what are you seeing from the teams? What movements are underway?
It looks like I think you're wrong. I think Team One, the Waffle House, they're gonna probably set up in the 10 line, kind of behind Epsilon, where they can't even shoot out over the center of the map. Seen that be pretty successful. I don't know. Maybe they are going Epsi. It's too soon to tell. There was almost a bit of a confrontation over here on Sigma. Oh my gosh, I'm flying through the crystals. But Blood Eagle quickly got out. He didn't even stick around to get caught by these fleas. So it's going to be up to Dead Man's Hand to see how do they want to approach this position. Yeah, I think I'm right. These Warhammers, they're not even going to where they can see the center of the map. They're just going to control this very outside edge. I was watching the Mercstar match, and Mercstar was doing an excellent job of just sitting right in between Gamma and Sigma and just scratching any mech that ever dared to try step on one of these edge cap points.
And you know what? That strategy, like, was that the Black Omen game you were referencing? Just to make sure that we're on the same
Black
page.
Omen did it on, what, Friday night and the other night? But Mercstar also did it just before this match. System Belmont and Cyclone Jack were casting it on just the regular MWO Leagues channel.
Oh, wow. Impressive. So more people are starting to realize that Sigma Gamma line definitely has a lot of strength behind it, kind of abandoning the hill. Smart move, too, because there's really no way you can cover Sigma and Kappa from the north side. I know that you have a bit of a favoritism towards those southern positions around Theta near the refineries and stuff, but apparently a lot of teams don't necessarily agree with you on the ability to hold the cap points from that side. Either that or maybe it's some super secret strategy that we haven't seen yet. And looks like that both of us might be wrong, since the 4 Warhammers are setting up behind the huge crags that cover the Epsilon point from their view. I have no clue what this coverage is supposed to do.
This is what I said they were going to do. They can control Sigma and Gamma, both from right here. They can scratch any mechs that jump on those 2 points. They can just straight up ignore Theta, Epsilon, even Kappa. They don't even worry about it. They've got a 2-1 advantage. And it's really hard to push this position. There are kind of only 2 choke points, especially if you outrange the other team. And it's such a long sightlines from up on this hill. You're probably like 600-700 meters.
But with that position, there's no map control. They can just cap Sigma from the other side, Sigma and Gamma. There's 2 paths leading to those points.
You can't cap it, though. You can see straight on there. You drop strikes and get your fleas to kind of reposition one on either side. It's pretty doable.
I mean, very interesting, but still, just, I don't know. It's kind of iffy, but we'll see how it plays out. Right now, it seems like that Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand sees that this strategy is taking effect. They haven't seen any of the range components from Waffle House. They haven't seen any mech from Waffle House, actually. It makes you wonder if they scouted anything at all. It looks like that they're moving towards Gamma Point rather than Sigma Point, but even still, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how effective this is going to be from that position. Like, I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, that's how I feel
believe, Saruman. I believe it's just a matter of you can't ever lose the point, because then you're in a real sticky situation, right? If you do let them cap it, then you got to push and send your lights over, at which point they stand a real chance of getting ganked. But Blood Eagle gonna step on this point, and we'll see if these Warhammers are able to stop the cap from that distance. Yeah, they're just getting a little bit of scratch damage, and that's enough.
And strikes are also being dropped right now. I guess your point is starting to be well felt, because Blood Eagle is taking a lot of damage, down 96%. However, if he finds that perfect sweet spot that he really can't be scratched on that Gamma Point, then perhaps Aces Wild Waffle House might be in a little bit of trouble, but the strikes are dropping. What would have possibly been a better situation is if they kind of spread their lights out a little bit, maybe, or put their main body to cap Gamma, let the lights cap Sigma, instead of just putting all their mechs onto one position. That would force the range DPS of Waffle House to kind of spread their focus a little bit.
Yeah. And yeah, it does seem like maybe splitting your lights and letting one Vulcan go to either side. You don't need to have both of them over here capping, but the fleas are just kind of working around, trying to get some scouting, I'd guess. Kawaii Chimera staying up by Epsilon. But Dead Man's Hand, they're moving closer to those Warhammer ER large laser boats. So we'll see if they decide to push, or maybe they just step out, give a little bit of covering fire, let their Vulcan step on the point again while those large Warhammers are occupied.
And right now, this is going to be a bit of a dangerous position, mainly because Kawhi Chimera hasn't scouted the main movement yet, so the Warhammers are not knowing which side to focus on. They see CJ Mixer. He's eating a lot of damage in that assassin. Look at the ER large laser burns dropping on him. Went from almost 100% down 89%. And, however, it seems like that Aces Wild might see that that's the main brawl team right there. Blood Eagle poking with futility with medium pulse lasers. Those Warhammers are a good 600 to 700 meters away. Davik dropping some serious Gauss shots, just barely missed Kawhi Chimera. If he hit, that would have been devastating. And this is kind of what I was referring to. You know, at the lower brackets, teams definitely have a harder time shooting those light mechs. Pyro GTX is now coming in for the support, and we kind of have a haphazard push right here. I do not like this. Davik and Pyro GTX are most likely going to be murdered simply because it's a 6v2.
Yeah, and the rest of
very minimal assistance from Roscoe.
They've also sent people off to Sigma, which they need to just be here in this fight. If you lose Davik and Pyro, it doesn't matter whether you have the cap control at that point.
And it turns out that, however, Waffle House is not getting aggressive on that point at all. Their Warhammers are backing off from the hill when they have a very clear advantage, but even still, Blood Eagle's going in with his Vulcan. Oh my goodness, I'm not liking this. Strikes are dropping down. Davik and Pyro GTX are starting to engage on a different angle. Blood Eagle is all by his lonesome against the Warhammers. Pyro GTX and Davik are trying to join the fight, but Blood Eagle gets focused down and killed after running into the team by himself, thinking he could man mode all those Warhammers. No bueno. You cannot, sir. Not even the best pilots could really man mode all those Warhammers, I feel. And right now, Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand, is down a mech once again. Davik laying down some very strong Gauss shots. Meanwhile, Sanair is down crazy percentages, 76%, and that's a meaningful 76% because one of his torsos is about to be lost. Zazian finishes off Axel Inferno, however, and from here, the domino effect is about to happen, and I feel that Aces Wild, Dead Man's Hand has probably lost the match at this point. Rosso manages to kill Sanair. Good kill on him, but I don't think that that's going to change the match that much. The percentage battle is just not on their side.
It's about even on tonnage, but Waffle House does have the advantage just in numbers, and those fleas are gonna be hard to kill. It seems like they're having a...
Oh, wait, hold on, though. Kawhi Chimera is legged. That isn't good. So, actually, for all intents and purposes, the teams are even.
But CJ Mixer was... Now they're not anymore. CJ Mixer goes down.
Yeah, unfortunately, right as I say that. Rosso finishes off Kawhi Chimera, but he was a dead mech anyway. So, yeah, there was definitely a moment where Dead Man's Hand might have been able to take it back, but the Orphanator is carrying this match on his shoulders, gets 2 key kills, and all that's left is Pyro, GTX, and Rosso. So there was a bit of an excitement there, a chance that, you know, they could have taken the match back, but that did not happen. Zazian coming in to finish Rosso in his Warhammer, and that's going to be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it was a valiant attempt. So they actually managed to leg Zazian now too. So it's it could be a while before this starts turning back. I guess they probably only have to get 1 cap. It was a good push. I do think Waffle House could have handled that a lot cleaner by just, you know, realizing, oh, there's only like 4 mechs here. The rest of them are... The rest of Dead Man's Hand are off capping. We can just man mode, stay up on this hill, let them push into us. As long as we just keep laying down fire, we should win this. But instead they backed off and they gave Dead Man's Hand a chance. Unfortunately, I think some of the Dead Man's Hand lighter elements just got a little bit too aggressive and went in too early.
That they did indeed. The push wasn't coordinated. Like the moment when those mechs, when the ER large laser Warhammers are being engaged by the faster elements of Dead Man's Hand's team, the rest of the Vulcans should have came down and tried to sweep through to turn that into a brawl into their favor, but in fact, it just turned into a loss. Fest and Orphanator, guys leading the team. Orphanator, 507 damage, 3 kills, very strong performance. Fest, 21, 2 kills, 419 damage. Very well played. Orange Dry, 360 damage, getting a lot of assists. Sanair, the Priest of Cthulhu, not doing that much damage, 238. The Eldritch Gods will not be pleased. Make it turn into a squid for that damage number. But on the other side, we have Rosso 412, 342 damage. He tried his hardest, but wasn't able to get it done. Pyro GTX 348 damage. Davik 266, 57 from Axe of the Inferno. CJ Mixer 100, Bloody Eagle 117. So we saw the heavier elements doing a lot of work, but the Vulcans just kind of got focused out early and killed very quickly, along with CJ Mixer. The lighter elements really wasn't able to get much done on the side of Dead Man's Hand, and that's just a lot of disjointedness from their team.
Yeah, they seem to kind of filter in there a little bit, one at a time, and that ended up being the death of them. But now no more weird range strats on the edge of the map like we saw on Grim Plexus. Now we're on to Canyon Network, much smaller map, and of course, as a key fact on this map, Theta is available to cap, and it's, I believe, Theta Epsilon Kappa. So just kind of in a straight line across the map.
It is. Yep.
We've seen a lot of brawling going on this map. It seems like teams love pushing that Epsilon corner. Even in 5-cap Conquest, you do see that some of the time, especially from less experienced teams who don't know how to play range. It's a hard map to play ranged on, and you are definitely vulnerable to brawl if you don't position absolutely perfectly. I kind of expect to see 2 brawl decks here, but I don't know. We'll see. I have not heard anything from Police, though. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more giveaways. I'm going to re-giveaway Police's Mech Bay and do a giveaway for
Make sure
this.
you type in chat, let people know 2 more giveaways on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen. Get active in chat, get hype, get lots of hype. Secret little trick right there. The more hype you get, the higher your chances might be of getting it.
Yeah. So I'm going to do first giveaway for 1 Mech Bay. I'll add all the viewers, and then we'll do a giveaway for 1,000 MC. You got to do something to let me know you're in chat, you're paying attention. My name is Toaster, TOAST3R. You can just at me or whisper me. My whispers are open. Let me know you're alive, and I'll get you your code. First giveaway, just starting right now. 1 Mech Bay. Who's gonna win?
I think Saruman should win.
Saruman? Are you talking about the Saruman with like 5 underscores at the end of his name?
Not necessarily. It could be another Saruman.
Well, it better be the other Saruman, because I kicked that other guy away. Too many underscores. I don't like him. Elmo, eh? Elmo, congratulations. You've won a Mech Bay Elmo, eh?
Elmo A? What?
Elmo E-A, Elmo underscore EH. Congratulations.
You might
at
have
me,
to roll that. Not sure about
I'm
that.
not sure. Well, I'll assume he's not a bot, and we'll give it away. And if you don't at me or get my attention by the end of this last game, I'll re-give it away. But we'll see. This next giveaway for 1,000 MC, who's gonna win? I don't know. It's not gonna be Saruman though. It's not gonna be Toaster.
It should be Saruman.
Might be Chimera, but then it'd definitely be rigged. Oh, it was almost defunct, but Cobra underscore 427 underscore. Congratulations on your 1,000 MC. At me, whisper me, let me know you're live in Twitch chat, and I'll get you your code.
Excellent. And make sure you keep typing this, Toaster, so people know to PM.
Yep. Hopefully I will do that in about 5 minutes or so. So been on a bit of a delay as compliment casts do. But anyways, let me update this scoreboard. Waffle House with 4 wins, 6 kills that last match. I have to look up how many kills did Dead Man's Hand have? They had 2 kills.
2.
So we'll play it on their part. They've started racking up some kills these last couple of matches. The first 2 HPG maps, they're a bit stompy, but Grim Plexus definitely doing a lot better. Dead Man's Hand kind of getting in the rhythm, it seems. Maybe just need to work on their drop decks a little bit, and some more discipline on the side of your lights. Keep them from funneling in there all by themselves so much.
Or at least, if they're going to funnel in, make their deaths count.
Yep. Make sure you get those kills. But waffles are ready. Bess is hungry.
I'm kind of hungry too. I could use some spaghetti.
Some spaghetti. Your
Some
mom's
Uruk
spaghetti.
flavored spaghetti.
Uruk flavor. Ew. That sounds disgusting, sir. Those are like mutated
Made by
elves.
Uruks with Uruks, yes. Actually, no. You are down on your Lord of the Rings lore, sir. Looks like I'm going to have to educate you, Toaster. Uruks are actually manufactured people created by Saruman with a similar recipe from the Lord of Darkness himself, Melkor, and from Sauron. So Uruks are actually completely manufactured, born from the process of mixing humans and kind of warping them with a little bit of the same power that the elves and orcs have, but they are not descendants from elves. What you're thinking of are orcs. Orcs are the
Okay.
ones that are tainted and corrupted elves, and they are tainted and corrupted because they followed the will of Melkor and the will of Sauron. Their dark magic corrupted their souls and showed them for who they really were.
Yeah,
Similar to
Melkor.
demons in Christian mythology.
Melkor was the original. What was it? The stars. I forget what the things that he wanted were, but tried to steal them.
Melkor was originally one of the highest levels of the Valar himself, but he wanted all the power for himself, so he betrayed all the Valar and tried to seize, as you said, the stars and the sun. But the Valar eventually beat him back and exiled him from the lands across the sea, after which Melkor was banished, Melkor was sealed, and Melkor started finding disciples, one of them being the Maiar himself, Sauron.
Very interesting. But back to Mech Warrior, and less Lord of the Rings trivia. What do you see on the battlefield?
What I see on the battlefield is one assassin from CJ Mixer with SRMs, a Com2D from Rosso 412, rocking SRMs as well. Axel the Inferno, Orion 1V, rocking a combination of medium lasers, SRMs, and AC5s. Teams are holding because I guess someone disconnected. Blood Eagle in his Orion 1VA, 4 SRM6s, and an AC20. Raven 3L from Pyro GTX. This is the Raven that we were talking about before the match began, bringing ER small lasers and ER PPC.
Oh,
He's two.
That's a
ER
strange
small
build.
lasers and an ER PPC. What?
Well, we'll see if he can make it work. He's definitely going to be their guy getting all the scouting info, but seems an odd choice, especially when you have so many Orions. Maybe you're going to try and force them to push into you, but I don't think one ERPPC on a Raven is enough to force a team to push.
It's not. And on the other side, we have two Victor 9A1s, one from Fest, one from Warfinator. They're rocking 3 AC10s. Once again, I'm not crazy about that build, but we'll see how they perform. Orange Dry and Zazian racking an Assassin Duo hit squad, and then the Priest of Cthulhu rocking the Vulcan 5T. So definitely somewhat different decks. Victor 9A1s or 3 AC10s. I mean, they've been doing work throughout these matchups, but I feel like against higher level teams that they might not do as much work. Can't really get on board with them. Don't feel that they might be as strong. I don't see the DPS doing as well, but they're doing well so far. So we'll have to see how they continue to play out. Meanwhile, Raven 3L with an ER PPC, that's something new, definitely.
Yeah, those Victors, in case anyone doesn't know, Victors generally are pretty survivable, but they have large CTs, and the 9A1, just because it has so many ballistic hardpoints, PGI opted not to give them as much side torso health, so they're definitely pretty squishy, and you stand to lose all your weapons if they just shoot both your side torsos off.
Also, keep in mind the giveaways are happening, Toast, so ping the channel. Let them know.
Whoa. Yeah, I will ping the channel. People are saying clearly a bot, but I will wait and see. Got a bit of a movement towards Kappa. This is pretty unusual from what we've seen. Most teams have opted to go to Epsi. Kawaii Chimera headed over in his cicada to grab Kappa. Meanwhile,
also 412 getting out of dodge after eating a lot of damage from Kawaii Chimera, and the rest of Dead Man's Hand seems to be forming up on Theta, just to take that as a range point, they're kind of playing this almost like a pug match. Can't say I really support these maneuvers. The Orion's trying to shoot at long range with those SRMs. Do not like the deployment of those SRMs. That is not how they're used, and Blood Eagle eats a nasty airstrike. Goes from 90 to 84%. But look at Fess. He got a bit too close. Assassins in the Orion 1VA are starting to jump on him. The brawl is on, ladies and gentlemen. The brawl is on. Let's see if Dead Man's Hand can finally take this match away from a Waffle House. Davik, however, drops. Fess gets killed by Zazie and his own teammates.
Rip.
So by an unfortunate team kill, this match actually goes the way of evenness. No team is actually up over the other. Orphanator is getting focused hardcore. However, Kawaii Chimera is in the back. Axel the Inferno self-destructs. CJ Mixer knocks down the Orphanator. But we have Kawaii Chimera and the Priest of Cthulhu just getting beautiful back shots on these mechs from Aces Wild Dead Man's Hand. Things are not going well. And it's also worth noting that Dead Man's Hand is running a Raven 3L with an ERPPC. Can't see that really making much of a difference in this matchup, sadly. He's trying to land as many shots as he can, but it's just all for naught. The Assassins and the Vulcan are essentially on an I mean, the Commando and the Assassin are essentially on an island, and they're going to drop, and all that's left now is Rosso 412.
Come on, Commando, you can do this. Commando, the battle baby. I don't know, he's got some Commando hitboxes, but it's going to be hard to win versus 2 Assassins and a Vulcan.
It is, and also the Raven 3L with the unfortunate just ERPPC. Not sure how effective this Raven is. I mean, perhaps you could do a lot of damage with it in quick play, but I can't really see the utility of such a mech, and it definitely kind of showed. It felt like Aces Wild Dead Man's Hand had
he
more
juked him.
mech than...
Pyro GTX, he came around the corner, powered down behind this rock, and Kawaii Chimera just ran straight past him. So he's being a little bit tricky, but I'm not sure what exactly he's going to accomplish. He's now got to kill 4 mechs, 4 very fast mechs who can easily run them down if they don't get juked like that again. And I'm sure Kawaii Chimera right now is beating himself up. Where did this guy go?
That was a 200 IQ play right there, but unfortunately... might not mean much. Pyro DTX is putting down the shots from the ERPPC, but that's only doing 10 damage a shot. You know, like, that's not a lot of damage, and that's not a lot of DPS dropping out. Orange Dry and Zazie and C, the Raven 3L. Pyro GTX, however, pulls this off. This could be the greatest clutch ever seen in ISC history. So if it happens, it happens. But right now, caps are clearly in favor of Waffle House, and this match seems very much in their control. Only a throw of epic proportions could save them.
Yeah, Pyro, he's still taking shots, not hitting as many as I'd like to see, but you know, it is what it is. Those are some very fast mechs to be hitting at these ranges. Looks like Waffle House has had enough of them though, and 2 Assassins are gonna run at him right now.
Yep, and it looks like the match may very well be over. Once the Assassins really close in on the Raven 3L, it's GG's, and then we have the Priest of Cthulhu over here with the Vulcan 5T trying to get shots on those legs. Pyro GTX missing key shots with the ERPPC, and the Raven 3L's legs also have the unfortunate distinction of being the size of the Twin Towers before they were sunk down in New York City. And there goes one, and soon there goes the other. Oh, they're actually going CT. CT finish, okay. And match goes to Waffle House. Game, set, match.
Congratulations, Waffle House. Good job, 5-0 victory. It seems like they're working well together. Unfortunate Dead Man's Hand wasn't able to take a game, but well played on their part too, sticking it out even when they, you know, started down a player. What do you see from this match from the scoreboard, sir?
What I see from the scoreboard is the Orphanator doing top damage, 375, but the spread actually being pretty good overall among Waffle House. Cicada 2A from Kawaii Chimera, 3 kills, 334 damage. That was an extremely efficient 334 damage, however, all in the back. Blood Eagle only doing 94 in the Orion. Davik 157. Definitely felt like the Orions were doing way too much poking. All of them did under 200 damage. Pyro GTX almost led his team in damage with this Raven 3L. That's a sight to see. CJ Mixer, 1 kill, 270 damage. Rosso 412, 2 assists, 218 damage. So the Orions definitely underperformed. That was a lot of tonnage that didn't live up to their potential, and the game kind of had to rest on the lights, and they unfortunately just could not pull it out. And that was seen by the fact that Waffle House got an extremely clean win on their final drop. 5-0 victory in favor of Waffle House. And this is Aces Wild, ladies and gentlemen. 2 Aces Wild team, 1 Dead Man's Hand, 1 Waffle House. There's 4 Aces Wild teams in total. Still a fun display. Good matches overall. And we have to give them props because this is the same unit that is running ISC. So, while everyone's sitting in your chairs, just give these guys a round of applause. All the people from Aces Wild are probably doing what they can to participate in the tournament, fill it up with players, and the higher management of Aces Wild doing whatever they can to help facilitate competitive gameplay by bringing a very solid Swiss pairing tournament.
Yep. Right, Cobra 427 has contacted me. I'm going to get him that MC code. Did I not roll? I believe I forgot to roll a second time, didn't I?
I don't know. I'm
Or
not.
was I waiting on Police? I believe I was waiting on Police to get back to me, and I don't think he ever did. So I'm gonna give this MC code to Cobra. So it'd be, and I'll do one last roll. See who will win Mech Bay. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Who's gonna win? I don't know. Oh wait. Ha! I forgot to re-add all the viewers. Let me just reset all the viewers. All these people on Twitch. May have had new people show up. Somehow Saruman keeps sneaking in. And here we go. For my final Mech Bay, please take it off my hands. I can't hold on to it. I can't keep it. They give it to me so I can give it to you.
I think you should just give it to me.
Give it to you? I don't know. If I
give it to the parties that I want it given to, that I am extremely biased towards.
Well, alas, you didn't win this time, but Ravagon did. Congratulations, Ravagon. I know you. Saw you in my own Twitch chat just earlier today. So I'll get you your Mech Bay code, Ravagon. Just let me know you're watching, you're still here. Whisper me, do something. I know you're on Discord too, so you can message me there if you want. But anyways, yeah, it was pretty fun match. Definitely kind of showing inexperience here in these matches, but I think showing that anyone can play comp if they really want to. We're all here to have fun.
Pretty much. So we currently have one person that's joined the channel. That's Davik. Davik, do you know of Orange?
Oh, he's here
as well.
Hello.
Excellent. Good to see you guys both here. Fun games casted all around. Time to get straight to the questions. Toaster, before I begin, do you have...
I just want to say thanks guys for playing. It was fun matches to cast, and also thanks to Aces Wild for putting on this tournament, doing all the legwork. We're just here casting. You guys do the real work.
Always nice to get some Aces Wild teams in on the cast. So obviously there's a lot that could be questioned, but we don't really want to go into the nitty gritty. We understand that you guys have your own drawing boards to hash out. So I just want to ask this, Davik, how was it playing down a guy for the first drop?
That was really not fun. We thought, hey, maybe we could use up some more of that tonnage, and it didn't really end up helping us. Being down a pilot just is too much of a disadvantage to make up for that.
Definitely feels like it. What was the plan going into that to try and close that debt?
Well, basically what we were trying to do in that first drop is we figured that the low ground down there in the basement for Theta was kind of a very high priority area, and we thought we would be able to kind of pull them into a brawl, and maybe we could, I don't know, just kind of control the terrain and have home field advantage, and that was pretty well shut down. It was a really good push in there, guys.
Thanks.
And now going to Orange Dry, you guys didn't cap at all. Was that just a favor to Dead Man's Hand, or was that part of the plan?
I think as far as our strategies go, like our big strategy is it's either a no cap at all and fight and then cap after, or we're going to cap and sit on them for.
Okay, very interesting. And now for drop 3 and 4, Orange Dry, your team definitely had a very strong large laser strategy. What was the catalyst behind that thinking? What caused you guys to come up with that strategy?
In the first week, we played JGX. You might have heard of them, and they spanked us real hard with it. And so I chatted with them after. They kind of gave me the idea behind it, and I don't think we're at their level to pull something like that off against most teams, but we thought we would try it in a kind of a, I don't know, more of a friendly team here, like Ace Wild versus Ace Wild. We wanted to give it a shot.
Well, it definitely seemed to be successful. Davik, it seemed like there were chances for you guys to take the win during those drops. What did you feel was the biggest weakness from your team?
The biggest issue I ran into is I felt like we got a little strung out. We've had a big issue with keeping people around, honestly, for this ISC thing, and even to the point where I believe we're actually looking at dropping out because I had to pretty much pull together some people that were not initially interested in this, so they didn't have any of the mechs we wanted for drop decks. All the drop decks I came up with were a little more consistent, but we had to kind of scramble. And I do apologize. That's part of the reason it took us so long between matches. But it's not who we trained with, and it's not who we like initially wanted to go in with, and it's just kind of messing us up a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you on the time front at least, you're already doing better than most Div A teams, so that's something you can have a hold on against them. Congratulations, you are far more timely than them. I'll give you that. But going to drop 5 now. What was the plan with that brawl deck? You had Orions and you were poking with missiles, and I don't feel like that's what you want to do with Orions. You had a Raven with an ERPPC. What was the gist of that? What were you trying to do?
So what we were trying to do with that is just essentially I mean, honestly, a crab rush, but with a little bit larger mechs. And that Raven was actually supposed to be a Wolfhound that would have been with the main body. Unfortunately, we didn't have anyone that could pilot that Wolfhound and, a couple of the other mechs. So it was kind of a struggle to, piece together what we were trying to do there. So yeah, that might be why it seemed a little disorganized too, but we really wanted to push in and take their bigger mechs initially, which is why we took those two victors. Um, that's what we were kind of trying to go for there is just get in and scramble them up, but they had a much better focus fire than we did.
And it seemed like it was working a little bit, but definitely did not work in the end. You guys definitely got back shot. What do you feel are some of the biggest things that your team is going to need to work on going forward? If you guys do decide to continue comp, I know when teams drop out, it's normally not the sign of a healthy team, but there's always bounce backs. So, what do you feel that you and your team need to work on in order to get back into the game, so to speak?
I definitely think we just need to train a little bit more and work on movements and kind of sticking a little closer together. I noticed in a lot of the drops, um, they spread out a lot. I kind of would have preferred to stay a little closer in there. Um, but yeah, just a couple of things like that. I noticed a couple of people weren't focusing on the target called. So just a couple of things like that.
And Orange Dry, with this win, you're 1-1, and now you're going to be moving up and playing some tougher competition. How do you feel with your team going?
We're going to need better strategies, that's for sure. I think we have the pilots to pull off wins, whether or not we bring the right decks at the right time.
There have been some good teams cast. I recommend going back, and even for viewers, there are a lot of VODs in our Discord on the YouTube channel, MWO Leagues. Highly recommend going back watching videos. You can only watch one at a time, and I believe there were 3 casts tonight, kind of all going on almost at once.
Yeah, I'm caught up on all of them up until last night and today, so I'm trying to get as much info from the teams that have been doing this more than a month.
Well, that's how you win. So you're headed in the right direction. I'm out of questions. Toaster doesn't have anything for you guys. Very well played, gentlemen. Good match.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see Aces Wild guys putting up a fight. I hope you don't drop
And
out.
once again,
Oh.
thank we would like to thank Aces Wild for hosting the ISC. We understand it's not you guys in particular that are the major admins, but I'm pretty sure all of Aces Wild forming teams and playing competitively in order to help bolster the numbers of this league definitely helps keep it strong. So thank you, gentlemen, for participating, and thank you to the whole of Aces Wild for being the father of the tournament, so to speak.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for casting. You guys really do help out.
I'll pass along the thank yous to Callan when I hear from him.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good games.
GG's.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. You have a good one.
I guess that's it for me and Saruman. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back with more action next week. I believe all or just about all the matches for round 2 are done and said for now. So you can go check out all the results on ISC's website. I'll link it in chat. But yeah, be sure to follow MWO Leagues, MWO Leagues too. We have casting more matches. We still got, I believe, at least 4 rounds to go. So more competitive Mech Warrior is on the way.
And you know, with rounds 3 and 4 coming up, this is where things are going to get extremely dicey. We're going to see a lot more close matches happen. Once round 3 passes, we're going to be past the midway point for ISC, and that's where teams are really going to be facing all teams around their skill level, and that's when we'll really get to drop into some of the juicier matches, finally be able to see what competitive MechWarrior Online is all about.
Yeah, and I would wager Russ Bullock is doing on the 24th a little bit of an announcement. I'd imagine we'll hear something about World Championships too. So we can kind of hopefully get some idea of who are the real contenders this year for World Championships and MechCon.
Definitely, but until we hear more, until next time, I'm Saruman of Many Colors, ladies and gentlemen, and have
a good day. I'm Toaster. Peace. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.